can you think of, and just going back because you have me sort of fascinated by this idea now of sort of the different intra-party tensions that exist, can you think of a vote or an issue on which you broke from fellow Democrats or from, a cohort of your Democrats, sort of where, because I do think people, you start to, you see the D and the R next to the name and think kind of monolith. But as we sort of get the nuances to emerge here, what are some ways that you have asserted sort of your independence from the caucus, would you say?
Sure. Well, and also this goes back to the decorum. So I took a vote last year. The traditional thinking for the party last year was there was a proposal to essentially vacate a previously submitted request for a constitutional convention. And it sits on this theoretical bar in the sky, and once you get a certain number of them, it triggers a review of our national constitution. There was a move to vacate Washington's previous submissions to that bar, and I voted no because I'm a history teacher's daughter, and I felt like other people were doing plenty of erasure, and we didn't need to participate in that. And quite frankly, I think our Constitution might need a tune-up, although I'm not calling for that today or anytime soon. But I think that just startled some people. That wasn't expected. It's not necessarily a deeply held value of my district. I'm just that kind of nerd.
Democrats gave examples of issues or situations where maybe they broke a little bit with their own caucus or their own party. Can you, I realize yours is a smaller caucus, but can you think of a situation where, where you can sort of surface the diversity of thought within the Republican caucus? And if you don't have an answer, I understand, but I'm always curious about, you're not all a monolith.
Well, I'll jump in here. So you mentioned part of my background is serving as a district court judge. I view part of my role in this position as a legislator as to be an advocate for our judiciary and to try and help our judiciary work better. And sometimes we have big disagreements with the decisions that come out of the Temple of Justice or the Court of Appeals. And if we don't like, the interpretation of the law, we can try and write a new law. That's certainly something we can do. But, sometimes I fear that there is a bit of an anti-judicial rhetoric that you get from some quarters, not necessarily from our caucus, but I think you can hear it at a national level. And I am trying to be a voice saying, look, we need the rule of law. The judiciary is incredibly important. It's where we go in front of an impartial decision maker to get justice. I think the county courthouse is one of the most important buildings we've got in a county. And it's something that makes people want to live here in this country. And so we need to build up and support our judiciary, hold them to account when they get it wrong. But that's part of the voice that I'm trying to have here.
You can check out the rest of the show by clicking on the link below or by watching Inside Olympia Thursday evenings at 7 and 10.